defending, I think, is like.
People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Yesterday was a 6-goal thriller. Arsenal 4, Chelsea 2, Chelsea 2, Arsenal 4. You know, Eddie Nketiah brace, Smith Rowe and Saka on the score sheet, Haaland Demons, Odegaard assist, Tavares encouraging performance. You know, the best Egyptian in the league regulating in the middle of the park in El Nene. Xhaka turned into Ronaldinho on the edge of our area in the build-up to one of the goals. You know, we stunk up the place defensively and still managed to walk away with 3 points. The 3 points debt collectors are back and live and full effect. Celebration police, you lot was winning the last 3 games. We're back now, innit? Now us Arsenal fans can be shameless, you know. Oh, we go, Chelsea got to smack us, or, you know, certain people, myself included, Chelsea got to smack us, man. Top 4, top 6, it's a myth now. You see in the title, top 4 is on and all these sort of things. Shameless thing. And I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday. I can't lie. I still think we're going to get dumped by United. But right now, it is what it is. We're a mixed bag as a club. You know, you've got to ride the highs and the lows, man. Shamelessly. Eddie Nketiah, new deal. Still got to go out on loan or something, or squad player settings. You know, El Nene, shout out to you. Shout out to Rob Holding. He's my guy. Stunk up the place. I think you and Ben White were very shaky in particular yesterday. Big up my guy Ramsdale. One love to everybody on Twitch, because I've exhausted myself. I can't lie. We'll go over the press conference, but I've spoke and I'll re-upload it onto YouTube. I've spoken from a tactical point of view. I've looked at the press conferences. We've been there, done it. Now it's time to enjoy, man. Now, am I really excited? You know, they said Arsenal have been beating the sides they're meant to beat this season, and I think that rings true. I mean, you know, I'm seeing Aspilicueta fighting fans, Reece James stinking up the place, Mason Mount should be sent off, just trying to clamp everybody. You know, Chelsea fans, despite the fact they're European champions and we finished back-to-back 8th and got the youngest squad and got a naive squad crying about they ain't got key players. Last time I checked, we had a £52 million striker, £72 million winger, you know, £45 million, them two on the bench, £45 million centre mid not involved. Kieran Tierney and Tomiyasu, a key part of our build-up play and the pillars that Arteta's looked to install in this new Arsenal foundation, playing no part. Fantastic. Certain managers blaming the grass. I'm 100% being shameless. I'm loving this, people. For now. Again, that's for me and for you lot. The players now, on a serious note, they need to shut up. Like Xhaka put on Instagram. The hard work starts. It's great, you know. You lot worked hard in the week. You've put your, I won't even say bad form to an end, because in our last 4, there's 1 win, 3 L's. You need to have 4 wins, 3 L's in the next 7 or something like that to look better. You know, we need to react. It's great that you lot worked on something all weekend/week, and you know, you get your just rewards in winning, even though it weren't really pretty. There's a lot of improvements. We conceded some poor goals. You know, even the build up to the goals, if it wasn't Ben White and then Nketiah who gave the ball away, it could have been any other the players, because there was a period we're giving it away cheaply. Game management, because while we showed heart, desire, passion, commitment, all of that stuff, we were holding on to the leads when we scored the first and second goals for about 5 minutes. So these are things that have always been in our game, really and truly. But other than that, it is what it is. And as usual, people, as you know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're all doing well and safe. I hope you're all in good spirits. You know, I hope everyone's having a progressive week wherever you lot are. I hope you lot, first and foremost, remain healthy. And then where your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, may they all ring true. 1 second. Something smells. That must be the Chelsea pack. Fucking hell, mate. That's allowed. Give us some of that. Come on. Hey. It's amazing. Shame to be shameless, man. But on a serious note, shout out to us, innit? We did what we needed to do. Excuse me, sir. What team do you support? Man said DG looking like a pimp. If Eddie Nketiah and El Nene aren't starting versus Chelsea, then United, then life ain't fair. Potentially. But Arteta just picked the right guys. You know, you lot got to do it again. I do think everyone in that team deserves to play. And I do think where Nketiah is concerned, he deserves to start. He's done what Lacazette couldn't do. Scored 2 goals in recent games. Actually flipping shoots. Actually running. You know, as I said against Southampton, we've been starved. We're praising man for hitting the post and actually just running around. It was nice for our strikers to score. Hit the like button if you haven't already, people. So he deserves to start based on the Southampton game, and he's really, this is the first game he's really laid down a marker. I don't want to sit here and rewrite history on Eddie Nketiah. At 22, I've always maintained I don't quite think you're the guy for Arsenal beyond being a squad player, which I do think you're learning how to play as an inside forward. You're getting involved more generally. You're being more proactive, less reactive. You still got a long way to go before you replicate that academy form or that under 21s England form in an Arsenal shirt, but you're 22. I would have liked to have seen, as I've said, I would have liked for him to have a new deal so we could loan him out or do whatever and make money. But he's put himself, at worst, I ask you to put yourself in the shop window. That's your chance. You don't deserve to be dropped now. If Lacazette comes in against Man United, then fair play. And if we win, then fair play. But if we lose, something's happened. Eddie's laid down the marker. So I'm proud of the Halem boys. Saka, Smith Rowe, to have them both on 10 or so Premier League goals is amazing. Odegaard, I think he took about 20 minutes to wake up, but I'll forgive him because when you play like that, you can wake up when you want. Yeah, man. Defensively, we're a shambles, respectfully, but it is what it is. It's always nice to win, and we have to say a difficult run of games is an understatement. We've got a very tough run of games to come. We've got to stand up to be counted. Really and truly, it's as simple as that. One sec, YouTube police is on to me. So yeah, it is what it is, man. So it's happy to win, but there's a lot of things we can apply to do better, of course. We go again in it, really and truly. Simple things. So yeah, obviously away form was 30. Away form, home form, it's all been amazing from Arsenal's perspective. I know you're going on rants this thing to bully Matisse. I'm not a bully. I don't know what bullying is. I can confirm I will be there. I am meant to be there on Thursdays, aren't I? I am meant to be there. I am meant to be there, man. Shades had to, man. Xhaka was class yesterday, bro. That game gave me heart attack, man. You never like to see players. Hey, to be honest, speaking of players losing the ball on the edge of their area, from what I see in the highlights, Dani Ceballos had a good game for Real Madrid, but 9 times out of 10, Xhaka is going to lose the ball in our area. Such is that game and such is life. He's not Megan, man. He's dribbling past, man. And to be honest, he should be. I know it's not an assist, but he should be credited the assist for that, not necessarily Martin Odegaard, even though it is a fantastic team move. We've seen moves like that. And that kind of sums up our defending because, I know Xhaka's put a positive gloss on it, but that was some terrible defending in the build-up to Xhaka just taking charge and busting his little nutmeg and things like that. That was some terrible bit of play from us, if I'm completely honest with you. But it is what it is. Everything must have went out the window. When emotion settles down, defensively, we need to improve. We've been shipping goals, and I do think the 2 goals, based on when they were conceded, the manner in which they were conceded, and just the early building blocks, I think they didn't need to happen. So there are a lot of positives. There was fight, there was resilience, there was responding to setbacks. People, El Nene looked a bit rusty early on, to be expected. He hasn't played for time. Looked good. Cedric when he came off the bench, Martinelli as well, but I think Cedric really played a big part. Saka, I felt he should have got subbed because I think he was gassing out towards the end and he was having a good game. He's went and won a pen. Gabriel, I actually feel in terms of pressing and higher up the field did all right. Not really so much at centre half. Did quite good. As I said, Xhaka did well. Odegaard did well. Smith Rowe got his goal and did well. Everybody played well, man. Eddie played well. It's a bit sad that Eddie's bagged the brace and he's not really the main talking point. In terms of improvements, I'm not going to lie. Ben White's my guy. I do think he was probably the poorest player on the pitch yesterday. Nothing was kind of working for you, if I'm completely honest with you. Ramsdale's form's taken a bit of a blip, but a bit like when Lacazette was missing chances and form was all right. No one was saying anything. Ramsdale's 23. He's got a lot to improve. He was still doing some of these things when form was good. I don't really agree with people blaming him for the goal that's deflected because our goalie is literally our last line of defense. I'm not saying he couldn't have done better. I'm just saying before I look at my goalie, I look at who's lost the ball. I look at, to be honest, Xhaka's turning his back. Rob Holding's turning his back. Ben White's not getting close. We've lost the ball cheaply. Ramsdale should do better. His positioning hasn't helped him, but you get it. I still retain faith in Ramsdale. Ben White, I need you to fix up. Last couple of games, you've been a bit mealy. I'm not going to lie, even Martin Odegaard, bad boy, but I want to see a lot more, man. In general, it is what it is. Not trying to sound reactionary, but I feel Eddie gets unfair hate due to frustration. If we had a killer up front, he could do his thing he could do his thing without pressure. Relying on him is too much, and he's not ready. Well, that's it, you know. Really and truly, you know. We're relying on players. It's a bit like Lacazette, you know. Lacazette could coast quite comfortably as a squad player if there wasn't a reliance on him. And let's be honest, let's not rewrite history. Eddie has stagnated. Eddie is playing catch up. Eddie, in terms of being a striker, yes, he scored 2 today, but he's a cup guy. We need to see that replicated in the form in the league. Now, you need to get chances in the league, which he hasn't really been given prolonged chances. But you never know. Stay ready. You might not have to get ready, innit? You've been given a chance against Southampton. No fireworks, but you did okay. You did your thing against Chelsea. You don't deserve to be dropped against United. Whether you're dropped is another thing. I personally think you did look tired, and the collective comes first. Like 3 points is more important than drawing 3-3. But Eddie Nketiah gets a hat trick. I think he was denied the chance to get his hat trick, unfortunately. But yeah, he did his thing, and it was a bit of poetic justice. A man that's been released from a club goes and scores, does the phone thing in front of their fans, and puts his arm on the Chelsea flag to go with Saka and Gabriel dancing and Smith Rowe knee sliding. You know, Stamford Bridge really is the Hale End dance floor, man. Nice to see they prepped it well. I know Thomas Tuchel wasn't happy with the pitch. A lot of players were falling on the floor, I felt yesterday, of both teams. It was crazy, man. Just a thought of something. If City or Liverpool win the Champions League, we're going to the Champions League even at 5th place. I don't know how any of that works. Eddie has never scored more than 2 Premier League goals in a season, but he's never had more than cameos. Let's see what he can do during the run-in. I hear that, and, you know, with your contract up, hope your purple patch can lead us, you know, show that you can score goals. And what I would say for me with Eddie that I like a bit more, as I said, his general plays improved. Let's not get it twisted. The bar's on the floor, you know. Lacazette is a better sort of football IQ than Eddie, but yeah, Eddie, you scored goals, but just for me, I've because the bar's on the floor up front at Arsenal, I really genuinely forgot what it was like to have a striker that can chase lost causes, like what the Christensen appeared to be. You know, there was almost not the same, but that similar goal could have happened at Southampton. If you remember, Eddie Nketiah picked the pocket of Jan Valery, and I think it eventually ended up with Saka shooting. Saka couldn't actually bag it, so his pace can be an asset. Eddie can be a squad player for this club. Where anything beyond that is down to him. I don't want to revise history, you know, a bit like we've seen with El Nene, with Cedric, with Lacazette. There's a flavour of the month every year at Arsenal. Granit Xhaka as well. Let's be honest, these are hot and cold players. They're going to have good and bad performances and fluctuative performances over the season where you kind of need more than that. So it's nice that we've kind of hit back, but we've got a lot to do. Like I said, improve defensively, game management improve, keep our whole standards up throughout the whole game. And what I would say is put a winning run of form together, really and truly. You know, performances like that, I'm happy to see, because as I keep saying, this is where I want my experienced guys. Of course, El Nene was better than a 5 or a 6 out of 10, but I kind of want that from my experienced players. So when I see El Nene lock it down, when I see Xhaka lock it down, when I see, you know, Cedric come on, and I really did like Cedric's cameo. When you lot are standing up to be counted, and everyone, but when you lot are standing up to be counted, the youngers can do their thing. You know, that was probably one of the only games where maybe if Saka or Smith Rowe didn't score, we might win. Historically, you can't say that at Arsenal. You know, it was Banduli. Good morning, DG. What I liked about Eddie's first goal is the way he smartly dribbled across Sarr, effectively taking him out of the picture. I wouldn't say that. He's just, you know, Chelsea have been caught on the transition. Reece James is high up the field because they're trying to attack. Christensen's out of position. Sarr's actually read the game quite well for me. If you're referring to his second goal, let's be honest, you know, it was a game where all 6 goals, if you scored them, probably a bit of quality. If you conceded them, back to the drawing board. You know, it's a good. I liked the pressing, which led to the second goal that Eddie scored, in the sense of Reece James has played it to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta has played a nonchalant pass. Tavares has got onto it, and Gabriel and Xhaka are pressing with him, giving it to Eddie, and Eddie's touch is dodgy. Sarr's doing dodgy stuff. Kante's there. Mendy's bugging out. It was just a crazy game, man. Thought that podcast would have been negative, but actually helped Eddie proving his point. I wouldn't say it'd have been negative. I know people would have sat there and said, "Oh, well, you're doing chattings and all these things you haven't done well." I don't think it's positive or negative. You know, I do think the podcast, Shout the Beautiful Game podcast, go and take that in. Hopefully, they got some more clicks on their channel and more subscribers via Eddie's performance. But I don't think it's positive or negative. I think it's honesty. You know, I do think it's nice to see Eddie look comfortable in an interview and say what's honestly on your mind, really. You know, you're allowed to feel honest, but you are vindicated, you know, when you come out and say, you know, when I've had my little 10, 20 minutes, I've done something, you know. I don't care about hitting crossbars and posts. You've actually done something. You've come a long way. Everton away, you were stinking up the place. Nottingham Forest, you were stinking up the place. And I would say to Eddie, I don't think Eddie is. I hope to be wrong because he's Halen. I don't think Eddie will ever be mentioned with Jamie Vardy, Harry Kane, Aubameyang, these sort of guys. And Salah's not a striker, but Salah. But where were these guys at 22 years of age? You know, I do think Eddie, like a couple of our players, because they haven't been exposed to proper football, are playing catch up. Like I would say, it's only really this year and to the tail end of last year that I've seen Eddie Nketiah look a bit stronger in terms of stature, be a bit more proactive, less reactive. At times, he would just do what he's done at academy, just stand there, and the ball's coming to me, I will slap in goals. He's forcing the issue. And what I liked, he's got 2 goals. I'm seeing him at right back, put in a shift. You know, it's a long way to go before we can confirm what Eddie's on, but we just have to keep it on what we can see. And on that game, he did amazing. But I need to know that you can do it against United. Now, Eddie's giving himself a good platform. Like I said, he's done all right against Southampton. The last 180 minutes, obviously it's not technically been that, but the last 180 minutes, I think he's put a shift in. You deserve to start against United. You do your job. I don't know who we've got after United. I think it's West Ham United, but you do your thing. But that 12:30 kickoff is going to be a complete different entity. You know, you've just heard Ten Hag has been announced at Man United. That could be a new managerial bounce. Obviously, Man United are fighting for top 4. Cristiano Ronaldo is probably going to be back. It's 12:30. We're going to have to be a different team because we're going to have to be on the front foot a bit more, less than was at Chelsea. We're at home, and United and Arsenal are definitely more even than Chelsea versus Arsenal. We're going to have to follow runners. You know, as I always say, all you need to do is look back to the last game you played, you know. And I don't think we learned our lessons when we played Palace the second time this season, Brighton, or even Brighton the second time this season. I need to know when you go against Everton and Manchester United, you do, because we didn't hold on to a win from a winning position at United. We made we played well. You know, Tomiyasu had a good game, as did Jadon Sancho. Smith Rowe did all right. Tavares let himself down for the mistake, but he did all right. We did okay. We just made a bunch of stupid decisions. Odegaard gave away a penalty. Tavares has given away the ball. You know, we're not following runners like Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes in particular, even Fred that day. The 2 names I said before, Fred, their games are based on movement. So logically, if it's someone's game's based on movement, you need to track and know where they are. If somebody's quick, drop off a couple yards. You know, if somebody's strong, double up against him. He might physically wait you and then the next one, but then the third man might nick the ball off him. So it's a completely different entity. For us fans, it's fantastic. Obviously, it's nice to get back to winning ways. I'm sure we've all got your Chelsea fan brethrens that we like to terrorize. It's all good for that stuff. But today, that's where it's done. Today, we need the players specifically. We need to act like we're still in that unbeaten run. Take some confidence, you know. Get gassed off the 4 goals you scored, you know. Excited. We scored some good goals, or they were bandulu, but they were good movements and there was good little bits and pieces and encouraging things to take. Not to be negative, but the 2 goals you conceded, they're not, you know, we're an improved defensive side. We're not a good defensive side. As I've said numerous times this season, we weren't good defensively. We were quite shaky. Really, Chelsea should have scored 2-3 in the first 10 minutes. So learn from that. Because if you can't do that against Chelsea, where they ain't got a strike, even though they tried to play Lukaku against us, someone tell Thomas Tuchel that Marie's gone on loan to Udinese and maybe try and find your receipt and send back Lukaku. If you can't do it against them, bro, Ronaldo, fresh off a hat-trick. And obviously, Ronaldo is going through some tough stuff off the field. It's written in the stars he bags. Just like I said, it's written in the stars that Eddie bags yesterday, sorry. Obviously, being an ex-Chelsea lad and all that. I did say 12th minute as well, and he scored in 12 minute 40, even though they said 13. Double pivot was brilliant, but again, hot and cold, man. Like, I'm not saying anyone's doing it, but we can't rewrite history. We can't start gassing Xhaka, gassing El Nene, and half of these guys. You know, we've seen great games from El Nene when he's coming. Xhaka on his J's, Partey on his J's, and I think Partey and Xhaka in particular have been all right this season. You know, not been terrible, not been amazing. There's been moments where I feel Partey more in particular, and Xhaka to a degree, they've played really, really well, but we don't know. There's still that inconsistency, you know. So a lot of this should be the minimums, really, you know. The fight, the desire, the responding to setbacks. People leave. That is how you lose. Had you have lost to Chelsea yesterday, I wouldn't have had too much to say because it's how you lose. You somewhat gave it your all. Crazy, man. Just came. The game was amazing, and to be honest, we could have scored more. We could have scored more. You know, Saka was losing his footing. Chelsea could have scored more. We could have scored a lot more. Crazy stuff, man. That Tavares' thing is a wing back. But as you saw, Tavares still has to learn. I don't blame Tavares for Aspilicueta's goal because it needs to stop with we've lost the ball cheaply and we've lost the the way just everything we're doing in that phase of play was terrible. But Tavares is learning how to. He's clearly a winger, learning to be a fullback. And his last 2 games have been all right, but he's not smelt the danger at all. Aspilicueta is more experienced. Aspilicueta is thinking, Tavares isn't. Tavares is watching the ball. Aspilicueta is watching the ball, but thinking, shit, no one's in the box. Let me dart across. Let me get in there, sort of thing, people. Now, Tavares, like, again, don't know if you can see, but if the ball's over there now and Aspilicueta's made the run, I've got to think as a fullback, and it's the most difficult. I don't even know if you can see, but it's the most difficult thing to watch a ball and watch the man. Aspilicueta is watching the ball and making the dart and run. Tavares has to, it's all about thinking. He's got to sit there and go, wow, he's made the run. Let me follow him. Even if I don't get there, let me put off Aspilicueta. He doesn't do that. Like I said, he's learning. You got to remember, at the time, I think we looked at it, he probably made about 22, 23 appearances for Arsenal Football Club. He made 40 odd for Benfica. So, he's still learning. He's clearly someone they looked at maybe 16 or so and said, yo, you're not going to quite make the grade as a winger, but wingback might be you. And I think Tavares had a good game. Obviously, he technically has an assist for Eddie Nketiah's goal. I think he played a very important part in the second. If you go and watch it again, with him, Xhaka and Gabriel are pressing. I think Tavares had it weren't a good defensive performance from anyone, but I think Tavares had a really encouraging game. And, I hope Tavares has gained some sort of confidence from the last 2 games, really, because confidence is a big thing. Confidence and thinking. Look at Eddie. Look, you saw in the game, Eddie, before he scored, he had one little shot and then you started to see him smile and maneuvering and things. Even Lacazette, there's been times, Lacazette has looked to shadow his former self and then he's looked more confident. And you got to remember, when you've got these young, volatile, I don't want to sound old-fashioned, but soft youths in the team, any little bit of inspiration can get them up. Any little bit of negativity can get them down. That's for them to arrest that and be level-headed. Like I said, you're not as good as you think you are when things go well. You're not as bad as you think you are when you're struggling. So they need to kind of find that. But I did like the confidence and that Arteta was doing. I have to big up Arteta. He made some big decisions. They worked. I did like his... It's a bit superficial as a football fan, but I did like all the antics on the sidelines and things like that. Would like my team to be a bit nastier because there were incidences where I don't think the ref was being a bit fair. I think Mason Mount should have been sent off. I think we should have looked to gold Mason Mount and try and rattle him a bit like other teams do to us. So, we're clearly, to be street smart, you need to know to go down. If I know, if I just move to an area and, I'm quite naive, and I look down a certain road and I don't know what's down there, or there's people that's going to rob me down there, I go down there. The next time I should think maybe I don't go down there, but we're naive. Certain man will still go down the road. So we need to learn in that regards, be a bit more street smart. Like I said, defensively, if we look at the whole grand scheme of things, the 2 against Chelsea, the 1 at Southampton, obviously the 2 at Brighton and the 3 at Crystal Palace, we've conceded some very cheap goals. And it's always, there's been several phases of play where someone might have been able to follow a runner, someone might have well been able to stop things, and you add that in. I'd even go back to Watford away as well, where the play started on the right-hand side. So we're an improved defensive side. We're not necessarily a good one, but we're improving, and it is what it is. It's nice to win the game, but there's a lot that we need to do a bit more in it, really and truly, man. Crazy. And I hope Tomiyasu is fit. Don't get it twisted for the next game. And I did think the subs made sense. Lovely. We always get onto Arteta about subs, people. We always draw him out about subs. I did think when he brought on Lacazette to waste time, it worked. I was a bit scared when Saka was going to take the pen, but poetic justice. Chelsea fans chanting he's let the country down like we give a fuck about Babylon and them things there. He didn't let us down. He bagged against you lot. I think Cedric was probably the best sub. I think Cedric was a man possessed. I don't know what Cedric watched. I don't know if Monreal, Mertesacker, Coquelin, these sort of guys gave a passionate speech about beating Chelsea. I don't know. We won our cup final. This is a highlight of the season, really, isn't it? We pressure the Chelsea youths, pressure them West Ham youths, pressure them Spurs youths, all sorts of ops in the Riz, man. It's crazy. In fact, where is that Riz? Because Matisse, I'm onto you still. Do not get it twisted. And that's it. Eddie being quick help stretch the ball. We're in the bars on the floor. Let's be honest. Because of where Arsenal are as a club, I've done it. let's be real. Tomiyasu, the bar was on the floor. He just had to show he could defend. Ramsdale just had to show he could catch. Defenders just have to show that they're a bit switched on. And I won't say history's been rewritten on Eddie, but as I said, bro, I've genuinely forgot what it was like to see a striker work the channels, just run, and even that, man, are praising running. You know, even with Lacazette, man, are praising working hard, link up play, things that you should be able to do anyways in the modern game, and especially a team aspiring for top 4 in that. But it's right, it stretches it, provides uncomfortability, and especially when you're playing against a back 3, which I always say again, let's not get twisted, Carl. There's been times Lacaz's done it. Let's not rewrite history and gas up Eddie's thing and belittle Lacazette and do all of these sort of things. But if we draw for the tactics ball quickly, people, this is one thing I like. Like, obviously, it weren't our first choice 11, but it weren't Chelsea's. Now, if I exaggerate a bit, yeah, let's just put the line slightly deeper. Let's go with 3 centre halves, right? I'm not gonna put anyone else into the team, yeah. 3 centre, you got your 3 centre halves. They could be Joe Bloggs, Mickey, and Steven. They don't have to be Chelsea lads. You got your wing backs, right? You got your wing backs. Now, obviously, Saka and Smith Rowe, Martinelli, whoever, typically they can run in behind. So that's a question for you and you and you and you to have, who's going to pick him up. But typically at Arsenal, we can't really play out from the back like that. You know, we ain't got a man that consistently takes off the centre halves, boom over the top, which we did see yesterday, but boom over the top into channels and all those sort of things. It's sideways. So typically 9 times out of 10, everybody drops. There's only so many times Smith Rowe and the other side can run in behind, right? As you lot know. In reality, 9 times out of 10, not so much yesterday. You know, they either narrow or they're technical footballers. You know, everyone wants it to feet. So Saka drops. My man drops. Lacazette on the best of days is going to drop. So there's no target like that. And don't get twisted. You've had guys like Aubameyang that don't offer much in general play. It's like playing with 10 men, but he drops. Now, naturally, or even if he doesn't, if he drops, you're going to say, you man, let's push the line up, man. You lot get forward, man. Get forward. And if you know, with the exception of the wingers, if you know you can beat Lacazette or whoever in a foot race, you've all played Sunday League, you're going to say, fuck it, let's gamble. You, man, do your thing. There's 3 of us. We can beat him in a foot race. And literally what I mean is if the ball sprung in behind, like you saw with Christensen, not the same example, can I get there? You know, can I get there? And you back yourself. Likewise, if my man's fairly quick, you're going to think, shit, man, like, you know, you might have to call in a midfielder, stand on his toes for me, let me drop off a couple of yards so that if he does breeze past you, and let me exaggerate this, if he does breeze past you, you know, I've dropped off a bit and I buy myself a couple of yards. So if the ball does go in behind and he's blistering, I might just make it. And that's the gamble. You know, there are times where obviously Eddie looks like 10 men as well. But when you've got someone that can run in behind, someone that can work the channels, you know, consistently, someone that doesn't always necessarily want the ball to feet. Sometimes Eddie was doing that. You now allow these people to go on the blind side. A big part of the first goal, beyond the obvious, you know, again, not to scale, people, not to scale at all. Don't know how we've got here. Big up you lot. Please make sure if you're on YouTube, you're hitting the like button. Twitch gang, appreciative. Likewise, yeah, if you remember in the build-up where Xhaka has done a mad thing, you know, Xhaka has done a mazza, and then he's played it to Odegaard, skipping forward, because I spoke about this on Twitch, skipping past this all a little bit, people. Eddie's made a run. Like Dave, Aspilicueta have done well. Eddie's made a run and taken a man with him now. And then I remember there's Loftus-Cheek and someone else. Now, obviously, Saka was there. Odegaard's ultimately played the pass. And Smith Rowe's come into picture. Let's just say this is Smith Rowe. People are concerned with Eddie and Nketiah. There's a space. Nobody, especially Loftus-Cheek, nobody, and again, it's not to scale, but Loftus-Cheek's not aware. Smith Rowe's done what he's done and come through on the blind side, and then you've seen what time it was as well. So that's what it can. That's what that pace thing can give you. That's why I think you need a striker that can just run in behind, full stop. You know, really and truly, as well as other things. And this is why you need options. There might be games where it's for Lacazette, it's for Eddie, it's for Aubameyang, or it's for 2 of the 3, or none of the 3, or none of the strikers, or whatnot. People, we need different options. Arsenal, it feels like we stumble across things. Like, obviously, as much as Arteta waffles about how much he wants to play Eddie and things like that, you know, Eddie deserved to start against Southampton, but are we starting him because we believe it's his time, or is it a by consequence of injuries, loss of form with certain individuals and whatnot? Just like when Lacazette came into the team. Obviously, Lacazette played his way into the team as well, but what made it easier to do this byproduct of Lacazette and the Haaland boys, you know? Aubameyang going because of his attitude. If Aubameyang didn't act up, we probably still have the same question. So that's my thing with Arsenal. I do think Arteta plans stuff, of course, but do we just stumble across things, or are we actively trying to plan Eddie? Now, Eddie's come into the team in the last 2 games, taking his chances, and rightly so. It should be Eddie against United, and if he keeps doing his thing, so on and so forth, a lot of people would rather just that. You know, if it convinces Eddie to sign a new deal and we can make some money on him, fair play. But that's what I want to see, really and truly. But yeah, that's what Eddie can give you, man. Especially when you're playing, obviously, if you're playing really good, it's a myth in it. But when you're playing SAR and all of these sort of things, it doesn't make sense. I do think in hindsight, Reece James should have played as the wing back and Azpilicueta as the right-sided centre back for Chelsea, but they didn't do that. And I'm not going to complain because it helped us win, innit? Really? Got to start strong and do the basics against United. Big up the N16. Hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you're gassing. All of you lot that are in the office, you lot better be giving it to them Chelsea, man. You know, pause. To pin opposition's defense deep in their own half is a number 9 with pace. Unfortunately, Laka doesn't offer that. It's true, but even to be fair, there's been games where Lacazette's general play and late runs has helped us. I just think Laka's fallen off a cliff in these last few games. Like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, man. If Tommy is real and he's ready to play, I'd play him left back with the rest of the back four from yesterday. Whoa. Tobiasu's feet, I'm slapping it right back, man. I can't cap to you, man. If Ronaldo and Varane don't start, we will win. I think Eddie will do the same against Man United players like Maguire. True. What formation would you use against United? I mean, it's difficult because we've done the 3 at the back thing and it's worked, innit? So I wouldn't want to fix it. But then again, we looked very shaky. So a part of me wants to, you'd have to give me another day to really consider this, really. But at this moment, I'm feeling keep it the same. I'd probably keep it the same, man. I don't know for TAVARES on the right wing, though. If Tomiyasu's fit, Tomiyasu comes in for me. Ben White, probably familiar surroundings in defence. Still not against the Bukayo Saka left back thing, but then again, you know, you want to ask Man United questions. You've got Wan-Bissaka, Deluded, Maguire feeling sorry for himself, new managerial bounce. That's one thing. Whether we win, lose, or draw from United, I want to see us be on the front foot and have some questions, man. The no consistency from our lot is the issue. It was nice beating Chelsea, but we are far from the finished article. We let in too many goals. Facts. Eddie has to start all the games from here on in. It's Eddie's spot to lose. You know, I'm still of the plan of Martinelli through the middle. You know, so it's Eddie's spot to lose. I would say personally, I don't quite know for that, but yeah, man, we're at 90 likes. Can we get over the 100 barrier, people? Unexpected high bills due if you have not hit that like button. Appreciative to the Twitch ones. I don't need to tell you anything. You're just doing your job. Pardon me. So I don't know about all the games, but I hear that, man. Have to be on that half turn. Facts. Big up A&F, man. Nice to see you in good spirits in that. And the thing is, we've Arsenal, we got a lot to learn in it, Carl. Let's be real. We don't score that many goals. We haven't got that many goal scorers, and I know statistics aren't helpful, and we're not necessarily a good defensive side. That being said, as I've said, disclaimer for those that are just subjectively hearing what they want to hear, we have scored goals this season. We have got young players who, you know, Saka and Smith Rowe got 10 in the league now, but they're learning to score. They've done it against Chelsea. You remember Southampton. You remember since Smith Rowe's come back from injury, really, he could have had a lot more. I genuinely think Smith Rowe should be on 14-15. I'm being harsh, but I do think in the last few games against Brighton, against Leicester, he could have bagged in it. Saka could have a lot more, but them man are Martinelli as well. Them man are learning to score goals. They're not confirmed goal scorers. They've not been there, done it, wore the t-shirt. They're apprentices, really. So they might fuck up your boiler. You need experienced guys, really and truly. You've got that. We haven't necessarily got good defenders or good defensively minded players. We've got young ones, so we're a bit of a mixed bag. We don't necessarily look like a team that's going to keep clean sheets or score mad goals, despite the improvements, really. And I know we didn't ultimately concede from a set piece, but I do think dead ball scenarios in the last couple of games, we could do a lot better. Yeah, man. Cedric was on. I don't know what Cedric put in his Lucas aid, but he was on stuff. Do you know George Lewis in the academy? If you're talking about the Rwandan lad, looks all right. I swear he's got a big injury. We're all glad that we got back to winning ways. Shout out to Eddie. The phone rang, man. The phone rang. His agent's phone's ringing, and he's definitely his agent's probably laughing in the summer, innit? What? Him and Saka have the same agent. He's getting the signing on bonus somewhere. Big up Ramsdale for his S-housery tactics. lack of working hard was always a bit overstated. He gets stuck in, but let's not pretend he puts in a lot of miles. Bit harsh. I do think Lacazette puts in a shift. I do think he puts in a shift, but man overcompensate on this working hard thing. Anyone, bro, Charlie, you've played Sunday League, you know. If me and you was in the pub and you're playing Sunday League and you're telling me, oh, DG, my friend Mickey, he puts it, you know, oh, Mickey had a good game on the weekend. I go, yo, Charlie, what's Mickey good? He puts in a shift. He works hard. Respectfully, man, them are not good then. Man, them are not good. You guys didn't say, oh yeah, man, he's got an eye for a pass. You know, all them things there. He didn't say none of that. We overcompensate with that, you know. We overcompensate with working hard, with the balance he gives us, with even the creativity. And Lacazette's got 7-8 Premier League assists. But Carl, man, are not scoring goals. We've always got a mixed bag of stuff. Eddie's phone's finally charged, man. It's like, as I said yesterday, it's like when you call a friend who never picks up, but at one time they do pick up. Shout out to Eddie, better late than never. And if you're not gonna, speaking of phones, I need to charge mine. If you're not gonna do anything else for this football club, then you can go down in folklore. I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to make Eddie Nketiah Arsenal's Danny Welbeck, man. I see you being able to do a job as a striker at times, as a inside forward, without necessarily relying on goals. I know Eddie's flavor of the day right now. Personally, I'm still screaming the Martinelli up front thing, but yeah, man, Eddie deserves it. I don't think Man United are trying to scare us with the appointment. I think they're just trying to sign the right manager, man. Awareness, one-touch, pass accuracy. We need to possess these skills consistently. We gain an extra yard with these skills. And what I did like as well was the committed, like, bodies are going forward. Like, Tavares is trying to go forward in that. Like, I really did like that from us. Really did like that, man. I don't think it was a pretty performance, but I do think there was some encouraging performances. As I said, I think Tavares can gain some confidence off the back of the 2 games. I think Eddie had a good game, can gain some confidence. El Nene, you know, El Nene, big games eventually comes in, you know, can gain some confidence. I'd say Arteta, you know, I wouldn't say the pressure's gone, but, you know, 3 wins, 0 points from a potential 3 and 9 points dropped is bad. 12 could have been unimaginable. So you do buy a bit of time. We do somewhat kind of keep our faint hopes of top 4 to top 6 alive. So yeah, it is what it is. It's always nice to win, really and truly. And I do think whether you're playing 1 game a week, which we've seen from January, I hope people can see whether you're in no competitions or you're doing what Chelsea were doing up until a point and what Liverpool and City, City up until a point, or what Liverpool are doing. If you're competing in multiple trophies or just one competition, you need a squad, especially as Arsenal, because injuries and us go hands in hands. But you've seen the consistency levels and whatnot, especially for young players, expecting them to do it all the time. I don't even know if you lot are going to do it at 12:30 at home. I hope you do it against Man United. This 6 points this week would be great. 4 points would be something to look forward to, if I'm honest with you. But we'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. It's always better to win than lose. Bro, we all had a heart attack. We was above several times. You know what Xhaka did, put a gloss on it, but we was doing that several times that game. I don't know what we was doing. You know, I don't know what we was doing. I would love to. Xhaka, this is why, you know, Xhaka did well, but I'd love to know in that particular moment, honestly, what was you thinking? It's crazy, man. I can't believe Arteta's contract expires in June 2023. How on earth did they give him that much time and they want to give the man an extension until 2026? Because they believe in him. They're both learning, but, you know, you've got to learn, really and truly. You know, at some point, you're young, you're learning, but you've got to learn your lesson, innit? You know, if you're a young man trying to learn your times tables and I'm your dad or whatever, you're your son's dad, you might give him time, you know, first couple of days or whatever, you know, cool, you know, what's 9 times 1? What's 9 times 2? They might struggle. If I ask you 2 weeks again and you're telling me that you're learning, you're young and you're struggling, you're still young, but man, have to learn what's going on. Actually learn. Sometimes, and I'll be real, old or young, you need to, sometimes the excuses don't go too far. Like the goals we've conceded, some of you have been in that scenario enough. I don't think it's an age thing per se. You think Tomiyasu starts against United? If fit, Tomiyasu starts for me. If fit, Tomiyasu starts. My bro is a Chelsea fan, and when we got the penny left the area, tell his experienced fullback stop holding players. We'd all want Saka's shirt. Tell him to do what these new age footballers are doing and get a little kid to beg for his shirt, make a little poster and beg for the shirt. You might get it. go back to a 4-3-3. I won't change anything for the next game. The only thing I would change would be Tommy back in the team. Tommy back in the team. If there's a way of Smith Rowe back in, not Smith Rowe. I can't lie. I'd be flirting with Tomiyasu back in the team. Martinelli somehow getting into the team. I think left back there's a decision to make. Do you put Saka there? Do you put Cedric there? Do you keep faith in Tavares? I don't know. It's a question for Mikel Arteta, and I know the game is going to make a massive difference. I probably think Tavares has earned the right to play again. And again, as I said, talking about learning, Tavares, if you play, you and Smith Rowe, go and watch the United game again. Odegaard watched the United game. Whole team watched the United game again because I can still remember it vividly. The most important point, as I just said, we dropped points from a winning position. Second of all, stupid penalty given on the basis of we're being reactionary. We're not following runners. Whatever you say about Man United's players, they've got movement. Jaden, that great movement. Him and Tomiyasu had good battles against each other. You know, not following runners, not holding on to leads, not managing the game correctly. All we need to do is watch that game again. I said this against Brighton. I said this against Crystal Palace. So yeah, man, that would be a big help. But we've got to, as much as you're young, we've got to promote independent thinkers. Arteta, for all his praise or criticism, can't always help the players. The players have got to figure things out to a degree themselves. When Smith Rowe dribbled through Chelsea's goal, I thought when he banged it was a goal. Trust. You know, I would buy your merch when I have more than $20. I appreciate that, man. Keep money, man. Just you being here is enough, man. Hey, man, we might be. Could be worse. We could have spent 80 million on Maguire. I said Eddie was one of the biggest disappointments from Haaland. I regret he's got me screaming yesterday. Pause. But bit harsh to call him a biggest disappointment from Haaland. You know, Akpom's easily been worse. Credit to Akpom. Akpom, come do the video, come do an interview with the guy. But yeah, man, it is what it is. We should buy Darwin. We should buy a striker like Darwin Núñez caliber. We'd be challenging for top 4 on a regular basis. Why not? I mean, I'm just on Eddie staying because we can make money in it. I'm not gonna cap. I still want 2 strikers. I still think it's Project Martinelli up front. Obviously, Eddie, you can, from now to the end of the season, you might be able to solidify a role in the team, but I'm not going to cap to you. This is why his contract should have been sorted time ago. We could have put him in the shop window, could have got him a better loan spell somewhere if someone's monitoring him. Then he could have go on loan next year, maybe come back and show he's a squad player or really improve, or we can make some cash. Because if you're a German team, on the best of days, you're probably looking at Eddie Nketiah. If you're a German team, you can look at Arsenal squad and go, you know what? Young Kyle Edwards in the under-18s, Eddie Nketiah, let's get you lot. You lot can stay here for 18 months and we'll sell you back to the very same market that we bought you from. And it is what it is. We all know the German clubs, to a degree, the Dutch clubs, French clubs, these guys, they're getting their revenge, or I call it karma on English clubs now, because there was a time, and it still happens, where a lot of the clubs, our club, Chelsea, United, everyone will go, Ajax will go, every team in these top 5 European leagues. It's irrelevant. Now teams are getting their karma because English players are looking to go abroad and do all of these sort of things. So we're going to have to see what's going on there. But yeah, I'm still screaming 2 strikers. If you can now, that probably won't happen because it probably, if Eddie can prove he's 30 and it can be a 1 striker thing, Eddie and Nketiah are in the squad, why not? But I'm not a fan of rewriting history necessarily. Hopefully it's the coming of age now, but I do think we do this rewriting history thing. We do it with Xhaka, we do it with El Nene, we've done it with Pepe, we've done it with Lacazette, doing it with Eddie and Nketiah, probably going to do it with Tavares. We're rewriting history. Like Cedric as well, if I haven't said that, like this. Do you not forget the whole season? It's from August till May. It's a long season. And as you lot see, when we've got a young and volatile squad, there's periods where other players are going to stand up to be counted. So, yeah, man. Have you seen the Saka quote where he says Oba was the main man and how he wants to be that too? No, I haven't, but good look for him. The attacking performance was very good, but the sloppy passes that led to loss of possession is something to be worked on. Arteta plugged the hole in the middle with 2 defensive midfielders. We know how the team can collapse when opposition bridge our midfield. Interesting comments. Keep them coming. I think Tomiyasu is fit. We just left him for United. Low key, a lack of astray. Oh, I didn't really. Boy, how many of those players last night have said we aren't good enough? Have we said aren't good enough for Arsenal? Chelsea were poor. Let's hope United are just as poor. To be honest, can't lie. Whoever I really said is not good enough. I don't think I've ever said. I just said a lot of guys are squad players. Like they're just not done to rely on. That's my thing with Arsenal. It's like we guys that are young and raw. We're starting to try and rely on them. You know, you might have a striker that's a good rotation option. You're looking at him to be the main man. That's just the little things we have been doing, and we've been doing that with Giroud. You know, Giroud was always a squad striker. He was never the guy to rely on with goals. And you've seen other teams, France and Chelsea, kind of accept Giroud for that, and they benefited from it. And we did at times. You know, shout out Drew, had a very good career. Man said, "Oh, DG, don't bring up the timetables. They were stressful times under pressure with Dad at the waiting table with the belt." Man said, Eddie Nketiah is a prime Samuel Eto'o reincarnated. I hope he can ever be, you know, I hope for Arsenal's sake he signs a new deal and one day could be mentioned in the same breath as that, you know, African and Barcelona legend, Cameroon specifically. Eddie Eto'o is one of my favorite players. Is Rance's stream with Matisse happening? It should be 1 p.m. You know I'm there, man. Come on, my guy, Jay. Yeah, see you for a minute. Like he said, blaze up the likes, people. Just like how we lit up that Chelsea pack yesterday and some of you are today. But them young men are learning, bro. Like, this is why, to a degree, I'm not really harsh on Smith Rowe, Saka, and that they're learning. They're not goal scorers. For me, a goal scorer is people that do this thing for years. Kane, goal scorer. Salah, goal scorer. Aubameyang, goal scorer. And even Son, goal scorer. I'm saying these names because at some point this season, you've seen these guys on droughts. You know, Salah just got a goal and assist against United, and all is forgiven. And people were quite unfortunate on him because he had 20 league goals, but he went on a drought. You know, scoring goals season in, season out from August to May is one of the most difficult things. There might be seasons where this is the first year that these lot have 10 league goals. So now I somewhat expect you to kind of do that next year. But what if you have a wobble? There's going to be good and bad moments. We need people whose jobs are to score so these young guys can keep developing and learning and the rest of it. They're not goal scorers. They're learning that art. Yeah, I know they were clinical somewhat yesterday. What was it? You know, Smith Rowe against Southampton, Saka against Southampton, Martinelli against Southampton, and so on and so forth. You know, yesterday was one of the first times where I think the Haaland boys could have played bad, and specifically Smith Rowe and Saka, excluding Eddie to prove the point, and we could have won. Too often than not, our games are correlated where if these guys play well, we win. If they don't, we lose. And also, if they score, yeah, man, it is where that's concerned, man. So yeah. But I hope so. You know, it'd be nice if Eddie can develop into some poacher thing and whatnot. Why not, man? People who've seen what Tammy's done will be looking at Eddie. I mean, but the thing is, Eddie's playing catch up in his career. You know, 2-3 years ago, Tammy was looking like this because Tammy's went to the Bristols. He's had a testing loan spell at Swansea. He's obviously been at Villa and solidified himself elsewhere and stuff like that. You know, these guys are just started looking reactive, really. So hopefully he does a thing, man. Mazzolini, man. Bro, stop spamming, bro. Like, you made your point. Allow me, please. People, don't ruin it, man. Don't start Tom because he might get injured again. Just use the same format. But I'm not going to cap if Tomiyasu is fully fit, like medical signed off. Yeah, it's not the same thing we've been seeing. Tomiyasu, you're playing for me. I'm sorry. You know, I know everyone had a good game and all these sort of things. But yeah, man, Tomiyasu, I feel a lot comfortable with you in the team. You know, arguably that could even give Tavares an extra emphasis because, you know, Tomiyasu is even more switched on. Tavares can keep doing what he's doing a little bit more, provided everyone picks up where they left off, picks up against United where they left off against Chelsea. This win means nothing if we don't win the United game. It's all about momentum. For the sake of Arsenal and Eddie's career, I hope he bags at least more goals until the end of the season. Amen. We're all hoping for that. Richard Garlick is still not managing contracts well. I'm not a lawyer, but this is beyond the joke. We let them go for free all the while. The unpopular opinion, he is. You know, think about it. His job is just, You've got the technical director and Edu. He's the contract man, but he can't just randomly go and say, Eddie, come sit down for a contract. Arteta and Edu have to try and pattern it. And clearly, Eddie and Nketiah is not trying to sign a new deal right now, or it would have been signed. Rightly so. Promises are a comfort to an idiot. The manager played you yesterday. You did your thing, but for all the managers gassing you up, and let's be honest, Eddie hasn't been levels. You have not been playing. You know, it's in your best interest to run your deal down. We've been knowing he's trying to run his deal down. But Richard Garlick is not a decision maker. You know, it's them, man. And contracts have been offered. Eddie, do you want to sign it or not? And it doesn't feel like necessarily a money thing for Eddie and Nketiah. It's, am I going to play football? You know, we heard he rejected, you know, in August he rejected Crystal Palace due to personal terms. In January, we said no to him. You know, you'd imagine he'd make a lot more money doing fuck all at Arsenal Football Club, if I'm completely honest with you. Pardon my French. So I don't, obviously money's important, but I can't get a Richard Garlick for that. Like, it's on Arteta and Eddie, because this Eddie and Nketiah thing, it should have been done before last summer. You know, last pivotal summer to really sell him. Then you're kind of begging for mercy. You know, he stayed in January. He could have, for all we know, indirectly, he could have agreed something, but he can agree to move to a foreign team. And obviously, he can still join a team, pardon me, over these shores at the end of the season. There will be compensation because Eddie is under 24 and we have offered him a new deal. Considering the fact that he's played 86 odd appearances for us, scored 2 goals the other day, become a Premier League footballer and an FA Cup winner, you'd imagine we get a decent compensation package, but it's not going to be anything compared to what we probably should have got had we have sold him. Full stop, really. So yeah, it's one of those. Them ones really. You look saying. Rude is currently having a goal drought for Milan in another title race. Would you extend on his contract by 1 year? Nope. Thanks for the memories. Like, it's not a sentimental thing. No. Consistency is key. The only reason we can't challenge for top 4 regularly or even the title, we can't forget that we beat Chelsea without Partey, Tierney, and Tomiyasu. Injuries are fixed with depth. Yep. But for every game like this, we've got 10 others where we've said, oh, this guy's missing, that guy's missing, and the third. But you're right. Anyone seen 1v1 Demon? Who's that? Rumors say he's still in HD Cut's chair. He's the man that you see when you go barbers. There's every time without fail, there's them dons that are not getting their haircut. They're just in the barbers. That's Hudson Odoi, man. I don't know what they had on the wings, man. Well, Perez was quite decent. I don't know for Lombergs, but I would say the game's changed. Arsenal better be GBG on the weekend. Can't lie, I would have been cool. Charles, I'd have been cool with 2-2, bro. Of course, the morale will influence the players' confidence. You know, again, going into the United game off the back of a victory is always better than off the back of a defeat. Like I said, 0 points from a potential 9, losing 3 games is mad. You know, 4 games on the bounce, losing 0 points from 12 is almost unimaginable. As G1 said, come man, let's try to get to 200 likes. 133 likes, 292 in here. We can get 200 likes, people. Smash the like, man. Big up South London's finest as well. Eddie will sign, but on his terms, bro. I'll be real. A promise is a comfort to an idiot. Like with Balogun, I want Eddie. I want Edu and Arteta to tell him every lie under the sun. Let me say it, bro. You're gonna play. You're part of the future. You've come of age. Blah blah blah. This that. And the minute he signs it, obviously, if he does his thing, he's lit. But the minute he signs that, I'm still screaming 2 strikers, bro. That's what I want to do. The man and Eddie's quite mature. You saw in the press conference interview he's done. He understands that, you know, there's a byproduct of things. I might have my own opinion and feel a certain way, but the game's the game. So I don't think he'll be as naive as Balogun, you know. So what are his terms? You know, promise of first team football, etc., etc. That's true, you know. But the minute you sign a new deal, you're in a week of negotiating because you can knock on my door as I'm Arteta. Let's just say he signed a new deal. He knocks on my door. Yo, DG, you said I'm gonna play. I signed a new deal. You said I'm gonna play. Shit, I said that. Where? Show me where I said that. I never said that. You said that. You're lying. Well, what can I tell you? So Eddie needs to not make an emotional decision. And obviously, I'd love him to sign a new deal for the P's, and we'd love the romance. He scores some goals and all these things. But you're at that stage now. Make a decision without emotion, Eddie. Make the right decision. Is that necessarily signing for Arsenal? Because for me, I still think there's a need for 2 strikers. Still screaming, I can't lie, Eddie, do your thing. I'm still screaming Martinelli on the wings, but that's an option up front for me. I don't know. Who knows what happens if Eddie, what happens if Balogun does a madness at some point? You've got to think. Even down to the young Kyon Edwards. I would love for him to stay. Love the guy, and his mentality and his attitude. But he's got to think, if Eddie signs a new deal, Balogun signs a new deal, you've got Tyrese John Jules, who also needs to think. You could have potentially 2 new strikers and and Martinelli. And remember that in tough times, you're not necessarily going to get opportunities. Like, look how patient Eddie's had to be. Eddie's really not really got to play this season in the league. There's decisions to make. But yeah, I'll be telling man every lie under the sun. Oh, you lied to me on first. So, what do you expect? You think Chelsea? Chelsea probably lying to all these youths. You think all of them are going to get first team football? Some of them probably know where it is as well. Like, what do you think about Tommy replacing Holding and swapping with Ben White at right back? Why not? Wait, what do you think about Tommy replacing Holding and swapping with Ben White at right back? Yeah, man, fuck with that. We would get compensation either way, yeah, but it's going to be pennies. It's going to be pennies. DG Chelsea fans are shameless. They complain they played with their B team against us. That's cool, bro. Like, they moved to when that we're an amazing team. When we had to play with the joke man in August, what did we say? We never had Thomas Partey, Tommy Asu, or Kieran Tierney. Even if you want to force it, I know he's gone, but we had a Bamian in August. Allow it, man. Who's more likely to cope with the drop-off in depth? The European champions or a team that's finished back-to-back 8th? Fair play. I've never seen Saka with the trim, but when you're that good, you don't need it, man. Don't know if you mentioned him, DG, on Twitch. I did. Bro, you see Odegaard? Once he woke up after them 20 minutes, different, man. Different. And look at Chelsea. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi hasn't really, he's stagnated. But yeah, bro, you're going to play, bro. Don't go Bayern Munich. You're the future, cuz. Do your thing, man. Sign the new deal. Who gives a crap? Do you think Ronaldo would be in the squad on Saturday? Yeah, but again, it's difficult, man. Football's irrelevant when you've gone through what he's gone through, innit? Yeah, I'm trying to put him in the shop window. Yeah, I did like the way Eddie. That's why I like when the man them interview the man them, because and the galleys as well do the same, because you see, Eddie was able to feel comfortable enough to answer things honestly. You respectfully to Sky Sports, and I know the context is different, but man and I know he had a little giggle in that, but man are giving the normal answers sort of thing. El Nene is not pretty, but it does work about once a season, twice a season. Thanks for the memories, man. Still the best Egyptian in the Premier League, but come, man. Time to pattern. Ask Salah. I'm sure he can pattern you something at Liverpool, man. Eddie had a really good game yesterday, but let's keep it trill, says S. Big up Jason. He ain't levels for Arsenal. We need a striker that can bag for us 15 goals minimum. Trust, but if we're in Europe, he can do his thing. Oh, Tuchel was vexed. Chelsea weren't the greatest, but in moments like that, we have to make our luck. That's not our business. It's not our business, bro. We play Chelsea at a good time. No Rudiger, couple midfielders are not there. It's not our business. Yeah, if they had them, it would have been peak for us. But if we had our guys, who's saying what? And to be fair, bro, we slapped it on Chelsea enough times, but it's none of our business. That is none of our business. Every team that played us in August and them things there, we played Brentford at the best time for them. City, Chelsea, they bop us anyways, but they played us at a good time. We got injuries in that. The last 3 games we played, yeah, we've had injuries, but they played us at a good time. We're feeling sorry for ourselves. Let's be honest, Chelsea had enough to do what they needed to do, man. Odegaard probably will be captain. For the first time in 15 years, 2 under-21 players have scored 10-plus goals for the same club in a single Premier League season. Ronaldo and Rooney, Saka and Smith Rowe. Bro, this is what we do, bro. You see, real Haaland bad boys. Real Haaland bad boys, man. Real Haaland bad boys. Real Haaland bad boys. None of these fake cobber mutes, these shit cobber mutes that, they're all like 20 years of age playing under 18, looking all wavy. That man, they are shit, man. Shout out Reece James. Exactly. Players sound so robot, and I get it, because I did an interview with a player, and I spoke with him. He's like, we're shook in it. Like, more time, we're not used to this. And half the time we're speaking to these people, they're trying to catch us out and get them buzz headlines. This is why the Beautiful Game podcast was lit. They were keeping it honest. Your first team football, your experiences, you know what? Them little things there, they weren't, because they could have done the mad thing. Eddie says I'm going to leave, blah blah blah. But where would that get him? That's what them man not Beautiful Game podcast, but that's what the Sky Sports is, etc. are on, you know. And that's why we need that gap to be bridged a bit. But there's a little, I'm telling you for a fact, do you know how difficult it must have been for the Beautiful Game podcast to get that done? I can tell you, as someone that's done that, certain football clubs and certain individuals, more time you got to know certain people, and they try and belittle things. Like, I can't talk on it, but there's certain interviews that were done, and I pressed the upload button, but you'll have never seen it because certain things. DG, imagine we won the last previous pre-games, we could finish third. Brother, if we turn up against, all right, cool, you could have held the Crystal Palace L, but if you done what you needed to do against Brighton and Southampton, you know, I would actually say if you turn up against Brighton away from home, if you kept the winning positions against Crystal Palace at home, Everton and Man United away, if you broke down the low block in Burnley, we'd probably be challenging for the league, but it is what it is. No one had sympathy when we had injuries and COVID. How do you feel about the manager blaming the pitch? Well, it's your pitch, innit? Like, blame your stuff. They might need to poach our stuff. You know, I can't lie. In the daytime, it looked wavy. You know, it looked wavy. It looked like a lovely day for football. I can't lie. I tweeted it. It looked like a lovely day for us to get slapped. I can't lie. Can't lie. Pepe is peak, man. Eddie deserves to start ahead of you, but yeah, I don't know about Cookie Matisse. I'll just, you know, we've got to be honest about what we saw in it. Like, captains are trying to fight players. Managers are blaming grass. Cobham not on nothing. Smith Rowe and Saka dancing at Stamford Bridge. And there's no cooking. It's just being honest. Like, that's what happened, innit? Like, them man got slapped. Like, stink fest from us defensively. El Nene doing his thing against man. Like, it's not a cooking if you're honest. I like that, man. I'm just gonna be honest, really. Like, that's what happened. That is what happened, people. Long day for Arsenal fans. We've got to live this. I can't lie, man. If we're not going to be on this winning Prem stuff and whatnot, which we're not going to be, I'm on this just spoiling other people's day now, man. Like, in the grand scheme of things, well, this is just a win against the rivals, innit? But I'm so here for this. Like, I'm so here for this. Like, I'm so here. I'm just here on the Rattleman thing. I'm here for this. Afternoon, DG, much needed win last night. Now it's up to these men to put United to the sword on Saturday. Tuchel's a crybaby moaning about the pitch like he didn't disrespect us putting that team out. I do think he underestimated Arsenal, but I'm not going to lie. I can't remember all of it, but on Twitch, we looked at his full comments around the pitch. I think they done him a bit dirty. He didn't really blame the pitch. I can't lie. He was refreshingly honest. Like, he basically said, you can't do these things in the Premier League. He got onto them because I think that's their third consecutive home L. He drew them out. Like, he proper drew them out for all of that. Like, he was quite honest, in my opinion. Bro, Amari Hutchinson, I was begging Arteta to bring him on. Really, the Haaland Demons, Patino, Aziz, Hutchinson, you know, Kiddo Taylor Hart, you know, starts getting fit again. Bro, and there's bare other man. Like, things are cooking, man. I like that Salsa brother at left back. Long way to go, but yeah, is where it is, man. It is where it is, man. But I'm just being honest. Like, these are Arsenal were lucky to win. I'm a Barca fan. I don't mind. You make your own luck in it. When you work hard, you make your own luck. I'll take that. You know, you lot were lucky to fucking cheat against us in 2006. You know, Chelsea have won 2 Champions Leagues on a jammy thing. You know, City, you could say they were lucky when Aguero did his thing. I'll take luck. You need luck in football. You know, when we're on an unbeaten run and Ruud van Nistelrooy, who normally slaps in a penalty, hits the crossbar, you need luck. Bring the luck, brother. Well, then, boy, he needs to get onto his ground staff, innit? Fire your ground staff and try and poach the Emirates ones. Crazy. Mexican Flores as well. Well, Mexican can be eligible for England, and until you play at international level, everything's debatable. Not everyone's gonna make it here, but yeah, man, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is, people. So yeah, I can't complain. I'm loving it, man. Mind sharing the channel name? You just called it to me on Xbox, and I just ran with it when I made my. Like, you know, when you make a YouTube account, just made a YouTube account just to watch videos, and then I just started uploading, and we're here now, innit? It's too late to turn back, really and truly. What can I say to you? I'd love for there to be some brazy story, but there's no brazy story behind it, really and truly. Should we look at the press conference, people, before we carry on with everything else? Let's look at the press conference quickly. Sorry, people. As much as I say that, I need to get the timestamps in. What should we call this? 105.50. I bring up the ones locked in Bali. What a nice country. I'm jealous, man. It must be sunny and shit where you are, man. Bro, had my man had me twerking. Rah. Pause. If you're galley, twerk away. But I don't know about Xhaka making next man twerk. I mean, if you want to foot, you know, everyone's free to do what they want. But that's a Bandulu one. I don't know about that. But anyways, away from any of that, let's see what Mikel Arteta has to say, people. In relation to stuff. Mikel Arteta, my gaffer. On Eddie and Nketiah, the win, top 4 and more. My gaffer. Don't ever let them chat shit about you. My gaffer, you crazy. You vex me sometimes. You do some booky stuff, but you're my gaffer. You're my gaffer, man. Obviously, I believe in you. You do things that I don't believe in. You're gone. But yeah, on bouncing back in style, we are shameless. I totally agree. That's the game we had in hand. And I said to them, if you want to be playing Champions League football, you have to come to the biggest stages and you have to beat those top teams. Bro, that's not the biggest. That's a dance floor. That's why that's a rave for us, man. That coming like at Stamford Bridge comes like visions. If you know, you know. Visions was such a club. It's not even there no more. And tonight we've done it. I'm really proud of them tonight, but I'm more proud about how they have reacted after every defeat that we've had in the last weeks. Not only the players, but the staff, and as a club. And that's when it reinforces me. It gives me even more energy to be where I am. And I feel lucky I am to be here. You're going to make a guy cry, man. On the tempo of the game, it was mentally really demanding. Trust. Because everything that we've been through in the last few weeks, for most of those players, it was the first time they've been through something like that. And sometimes we forget about that. For some of them, it's the first time they are playing in the Premier League. And the demands and the responsibilities we are putting on them is huge. So after that, to still go through the moments emotionally, that game they showed real maturity and composure and quality to match what Chelsea, were doing, because they're a top side and their manager is very good. On the fans, come on, fans home and away, whether they're at their games or not. For our fans, the only thing I can say is is what I've said all season. In good and difficult moments, they've been really behind the team. And I know that we have disappointed them in the last few weeks with the results that we've had. And look how they were today again. So this victory is for them as well. And then tell them that they cover and they need to be really noisy and loud to help us win the match. On if Saka was going to take I ain't gonna lie, but Saka's my guy. But I was shook in it. I was shook when Saka was finna take that. I was thinking Saka, and they were booing him, and they said he let down his country and things, won out Babylon, and I don't think he let down anything. But shout to him, he didn't let us down. No, I thought that Gabby was going to take it, and when I saw that Bukayo took it, honestly, my first thing that I thought was back in the summer and what happened. But again, I said to you guys, when that happens to Bukayo, that happened for a reason. And he learned so much. He matured so much. That's why he's having the season that he's had. And for him to have that courage to say, I'm going to take it again, because I'm sure it was in the back of his mind. For me, it's Capu, even if he's missed it. Capo, I don't even know what that word is, man. So cutting onions, man. My Halen boys. Bro, do you know how proud I am of Saka? Like, I have seen this guy from the Czechoslovakia trades and under 16 years of age playing in the under 18s to what he is now. I'm proud of all of these guys, man. I'm gonna make a guy cry, man. Like, it's a bit like the journey. I feel how I feel about Skepta's journey. I've seen it from the start. But honestly, enjoyed the game. Roller coaster of emotions, much like Arsenal Football Club. Well, with the roller coaster that we've had out there, it was difficult to predict what could happen. And every time they put up the board for a sub, and this one is in, they're a great team. And how the players came in and performed so well without any minutes. Very simple. I said them to many times. The way they train, if you see them in training, that we had on Sunday after defeat, you see El Nene, Holding, Pepe, you can't get no minutes, how they trained. I think it's the reason why we won. I said to them before the game, to good people, good things happen, guys. Trust. So when's DG gonna get 100k subs and that? But I'm a good guy. But anyways, away from that, and we have some really good, really good people in the dressing room. That shows in difficult moments. Rob Holding, you know, he's better than Carnival Road. Anyways, Arsenal might suck my guy, but allow it, bro, man. Allow it. I had to, man. I've been so behaved all day. I'm sorry, man. But anyways, that shows in difficult moments when they are not involved, not in good moments. They have performed today because of how they looked after themselves and how much they care about the team. Stay ready. You don't need to get ready. He said on Eddie Nketiah, if there's one player that I've been unfair with, I think it's him. This is that pep thing. I've been so unfair. He has given me every right to do something different. So if Eddie hasn't played more, it's my fault. And because as a manager, I've missed something, or I haven't had the courage to play him more. And today he showed me again how wrong I was. Keep gassing up the thing. On whether tonight makes him think about whether the gap between us and Chelsea isn't so big. Brother, the gap is a myth. Chelsea have a lot of problems. We're not near them. We're not near them. Let's be real. No matter what the table says, no matter if we can catch them, the man, since Tuchel's coming, the man are different. Let's be serious, you know. You'd kill for what Chelsea have. I would kill you lot for what Liverpool and City have, and then we'd be third best team in the league. We'd want that. A shoe-in. Chelsea might have lost the game, but they're sitting there and looking at United, Arsenal, Spurs. We're all fighting over a bit of crumbs of bread if that was top four. So I don't know about none of that, man. DG, do you feel a lot more connected with the squad compared to the teams we had in the last 15 years? I mean, my maths is poor, but 15 years would probably cover definitely not Henry and that. Like any time of the Henry and that myth. But I definitely feel a lot. I've definitely felt a lot of connection. I would say in the last 3-4 years, or the last 3 years, I feel the most connected with this squad, if that answers, since Wenger's left, or including the last season under Wenger. So, yeah, man, today was something, but the table says different. What they did last year and the level that they play and what they've won say something different. A game cannot blur the reality. And as a team, as a squad, they're in a completely different moment, I think. Exactly. It cannot blur reality. Them man's youngsters are fucking shit. Ours are lit. Anyways, on bringing in players with fresh legs and whether the idea was to match Chelsea's physicality, because I have the intuition, because I see them train every day, I thought this game and this moment needed a different game and a different energy around the team. Then obviously there was a big tactical reason, because I expected them to do certain things that with certain formations that we could not cope with, we're going to adapt in what they could do. On how much he worked on the new formation and whether it was easy for the players, that's complicated, because it was in attack to something, in defending high, it was to do something different. If they were doing something different, that's the game. That's the way the game is evolving. That's what this type of management demands you to do. And if you're unable to do that, it's difficult to control the match. On whether that performance shows how much the club wants Champions League football, calm it down a bit. Yes, they have been really disappointed because they have hope. They can see it's there. And after a long time for the club, they can see that we can achieve it. And it's there for the taking. You get one disappointment, two. Even the third one, you say you don't deserve to lose matches. We did. Why? We had 23 shots. We didn't put it in the back of the net, bro. You did then. They had 2, and we are losing matches. For them, it's difficult to understand, bro, because you didn't do enough. If you can leave a football pitch and say you have given everything, then fair play. But no, too often than not, we couldn't. Let's not remix stuff. But the guy who invented this game, he wanted to make us suffer, because when you expect something different happens. And this is the beauty and why we're here. A win 4-1. Weren't me. Like, I don't know. It weren't me. But someone said that. You know, he said we scored 4 goals with our academy players, which is unique and great. Then I know that our fans have been disappointed in the last 2 weeks because the expectation we have created for them. And thankfully today we gave something back. He said, I'm now thinking about Manchester United. This one is done now. We have already enjoyed it in the dressing room. Now it's about recovery, preparing mentally. We don't have any time to prepare for the match. So we are going to have to need our people to turn up and make the Emirates a real place against Man United. That's a different game in itself. I'm not going to cap people. I'm sorry, but big up Eddie and Nketiah. Eddie. We're going to go for it. We wanted to push and give everything these last 6 weeks. believe in ourselves. We want to do it for the fans, so we're going to give our all until the end of the season. I think in life, you never know when your chance is coming, so you just got to be ready. And thankfully today, I was able to help the team. Obviously, it's nice to score, but it's important to be involved in a win in the London derby, getting the 3 points to bounce back. That's the most important thing. Amen. I sniffed a bit of uncertainty on the first goal. I had a lot of time, but thankfully I slotted it away, so it was a good start. In a London derby against a big team like Chelsea, to get 3 points is amazing. I think it's going to give us confidence going into the game in the weekend. Exactly, but confidence cannot be arrogance or complacency. And them City fans used to be Arsenal fans, man. A bit like how the Chelsea fans were Arsenal fans until, 2004 and that. They stopped being Arsenal fans in 2004 and them things there, man. So it is where it is, really. Xhaka doing up Jogger Benito and that. It was... It's lovely, isn't it? 4 more likes until we hit 200 likes, people. Appreciative to you lot. With that being said, though, I'm going to go and quickly get something to eat before the live stream with Matisse and the rants. I can't lie to you lot. Don't worry. That's due to be an interesting one. Appreciative to you lot that have locked in across YouTube and Twitch. I will be cutting up some clips from this live stream and the live stream on Twitch earlier and putting it online for you lot. Do not forget, people, if you're not going to do anything else, then please set your reminders on YouTube and Twitch for Manchester United versus Arsenal's watch along, people, which is on Saturday. I think I've I've actually set it for 11:30 because we're kicking off at 12:30, folks, which is going to be a brazy one. So yeah, man, I'll love and leave you lot. I'll see you lot, man. It's been a fantastic one. I'm gassed as well, man. It is what it is, man. Brentford slapped these youths. We slapped these youths. It is what it is, man. Move to West Ham, move to Chelsea, move to Spurs. London's ours. I don't care about no European trophies and all of those sort of things, man. It is what it is, man. On that note, it is what it is. If you're the 200th like, big up yourself, Twitch gang. You already know what you lot are on, man. You lot are the Bakayo Sackers. YouTube's Eddie and Nketiah. Like, you man were good today, you man were good yesterday. I don't know if there's any real consistency there, but shout out to you lot's thing regardless.
There's always just that active red line, defending. I think it's like